Hi, today I'm going to talk about a follow-up of a reverse disarray. This time I'm going to use algorithm. It's called using insertion algorithm, or we call it a swap. So the goal is exactly the same. Reverse disarray using native, oops, this is not spelled correctly. So let's copy this. Native function, mutate the original array, but not, okay, yes. And then this time we're not gonna use native function. We're gonna do a swap. Reverse disarray, that's first thing. Mutate the original array, but do not use native methods. Okay, and we're gonna be using insertion. So I want to share my notes. Let's see if I can change the screen. Share. There you go. So this is my note, and I'm going to demonstrate what I'm trying to say here. Here we have, I'm going to, let's see here. Just go ahead and do, I guess I'll do oval. Then I'll do clear. So first, we're looking at this array here. Oops. Okay, so we're looking at this array here. And I want to, oops, let me try to move this here. I want to kind of go through each one, A, B, C, D, E, but then I'm gonna swap them. So here, array I and array.length 1 minus I, that's how I can kind of say it in a dynamic way, because array I, when you're going through a for loop, its I is first going to be 0. So array.length minus 1 minus I is just going to be, very first time is going to be just array.length minus I. So it will point to the last element, and then we're swapping that too. And that's called insertion algorithm. Next, I want to kind of walk through with you the like a pseudocode with you. So let's say we are having the very first time the for loop is running, I is equal to 0. First, assign first element to temporary variable. So I'm gonna say temp equals array I. So that's gonna assign first element, and then temporary variable has that element. Next, it will be, we're swapping last element, which is E here, to first element, it's A. So I'm just showing you that E is gonna come replace A, and then A will be replaced by E. Then, therefore, we have assigned temporary variable first element here. So temporary has A because E is going to get rid of A. So you have to make sure to go ahead and assign the first element to temporary. So you actually have access to the very first element. At the I equals 0, array I, which is first element when I is equal to 0, array of array length minus 1, which is last element, minus I, which is 0 at this time. However, the next time when for loop runs, it's going to point to D, and it's going to be array length minus 1, and I is equal to 1, so minus 1. So it's going to keep going to from right to left by whenever I gets incremented. So here I made a note saying moves one index at a time in a forward fashion. So it doesn't go backwards. It starts from the back and then moving forward. Assign last element with the first element. So array dot length minus 1 minus I. So what that means is the last element, and get me the last index of the element, and then minus I. When it's 0, it's going to be the last element, E, and when it's 1, it's going to be D, because you move forward one index at a time. So last element to the first element. So I'm saying whatever that's inside right now, it's E, but then I want you to assign it to temporary variable, which in step 1, we said it's going to be the first element. Assign first element to the temporary variable. So that's the pseudocode. And then now we're going to jump into code. This one for real. Let me change the screen. All right, so we're back here. Now let's look into it so we can code this. So we're gonna copy this. In this function, reverse array. And this is really a variable, so you can call it anything you want. I'm gonna call it R. And it happened to be the same, but this can be R1, R3, anything you want. It's a variable. And it's a variable that we're passing to the function, which is called parameter. To find the middle element. So first we need to, what this is going to do is an insertion algorithm where it will insert from back to front, back to front, back to front. So I don't want, once that's done, I don't have to keep going here and go back to front, right? Back to front. We don't need to do that. We just need to find the middle ground. So we need to find a middle element. So I'm going to say var middle equals math.floor. So math.floor, what it does is, let's do one real quick here. So let's say we have 5 divided by 2. That's 2.5, right? What if we do math.floor 5 divided by 2? So now you get the understanding that math.floor is going to get you what is lesser than the front area. So it's not going to go up. It's just going to cut at the dot. So let's try one more. Math.floor 7. That's going to result me 3.5. So what will be the answer for this one? Pause the video and think about it and see if you can come up with the answer. Okay, so it is 3. As we said, we drop the dot and then put the floor in there. So back to the code earlier. Var middle, so math.floor, and I'm gonna do r.length. So whatever array I pass in, the array right now, I'm gonna go and clear this. Okay, so whatever array we pass in, which is this, and the length of the array, dot length. Okay, and then I'm gonna divide that by 2 because I only wanna go to the middle and I wanna stop. So right now this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Length is 6, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then I'm gonna go ahead and declare a temp variable, and I'll just assign null. All right, next part, we want to do for loop. So it starts swapping from the back to the front. For loop, and start this function scope. All right, so it will be var I equals 0, and I is less than middle. So right now, what is I? It's 0. And middle, what is a middle? Yes, it's 3. So 0 is less than 3, right? And when is I is less than 3? Let's look at it. 0, 1, 2, 3. So as you see, it's gonna stop here. So whenever the swapping happens, it's gonna swap this at this moment, and then it's not gonna go to C and D swapping. It's just gonna end right there. So that's exactly what we want, because it splits it in the middle. 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's gonna be less than 3. So it's gonna loop up to this situation 2, and it will end. Okay, that's middle, and then it's gonna be I plus plus. So that's incrementing I. All right. The next part, we want to assign temp variable with ith array's value. Okay. So let me show you what I mean by that. Temp and ith array's value. How do you do that? How do you get the value of an array? Yes, it's array I, right? And the very first one is 0. So array 0 is going to be this. Let's look at this together. So let's say I copy this. Just want to make sure that we're getting this. Okay, and then the next one is, what I'm saying here is array I, right? So array I is, which is 0, so array 0, right? So what does that get me? So if I do array 0, what's the output? What do you think? Yep, it's A. So let's try it. So A, right? So that's what we're doing. So, and then we're saying array 0, and then assign it to temp. Yeah, go inside of temp. So now, very first time, temp has what? Ith value, right? A, B, C. It goes like that. All right, the next part, it is assign first element with last element. So really what we're saying is move this F to A. Remember the diagram I shared? Let's see, let's look at the shared. Let me just do a new share. Okay, so remember this diagram? Remember this, the E, the last part, is going to go to A, right? So what we're saying is when we have a first element already assigned to something, which is temp in our case, then now we're safe to mutate this original array and then assign the last value inside of a first element position. So let's go back to the code. All right, so and how do you refer the last element here using, but we have to use I? So currently I is 0, right? So all you have to do is really to get to the F here, array, whoops, it should be R here because we are passing R. We should all match. So array R dot length -1 minus I. And currently I is 0. But then when I is 1, then it's just going to move forward from the back. So start from the back. So array R dot length -1 is start from the back. And then minus I is start moving forward this direction from right to left. And to refer to it in the context of R, what we do is R, right? And then put it in a bracket. Then we get the value of the position that we're referring to. So this is almost saying like this. We go back here. Array.length -1 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We have index 5 here, 5th index, but array.length is going to be really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're saying 6 minus 1, which is 5, right? And then now we're successfully referring to this index and happen to be the ith value currently is 0. So it's referring to this F. Now we're going to go back. So this is showing me the last element and then delete the nothing when it's very first one. But then minus nothing. And then -1, the next round, as we know the I++ will be getting increasing. So then what I do is array R I, so our I currently is the first element, A, is equal to array R dot length, right? That's the length of the array, and then -1, getting the index of the last array, minus I. So then currently I is 0, which is awesome because then it will get you the F. And the next time I is going to be 1, and it will get you E. I is going to be 2, it will get you D. Okay? And then it will stop when I is less than 3. So I has to be like, so if it's I is 2, 0, 1, 2, it's going to stop looping at C. It won't go to 3. All right. the next part, oops, let's go back. Shift enter to make an enter. Then assign last value with first value. Array.length -1 minus I, that equals to temp. So we're saying is assign last value with first value. So right now, earlier in very first step, we assigned the very beginning value into temp, right? So currently this one holds the temp, temp holds the first value. So then we're swapping it inside of the last index here. That's what's happening. And then we just return R, and we can see what happened to R. Now we're going to call this function. So I keep saying array here. It's the R array. Let me see if there's anything else. R, Ri, R length -1, R. Okay, and then return R. Okay, cool. And then it will be reverse array in place R. So I'm expecting to see something like this. FEDCBA. Let's see if we get that. Great. And remember that return is, it indicates stop the function and go out. So this is the last statement that shows up. That's why R is here, because I want you to return what happened to R. Thank you. Bye.